Hi everyone, welcome to today's session, and today's session is on a very interesting topic. It's called DILR magic. Now some of you are wondering, why am I talking about DILR and magic together? Because today I'll be showing you something which is really going to be an amazing way of solving DILR sets. This video is brought to you by me, Nilanjan Dutta, a CAT and a DILR 100 percentiler, and this will give you an understanding about how you need to solve DILR sets in the exam. So let us get started with today's DILR set. So today's DILR set is from one of the previous years of IIFT. So credits to the IIFT team for the set. Now here in the set, if you see, we are talking about 6 engineers whose names are Anthony, Brad, Carla, Dinesh, Ivan and Frank. They have been offered jobs at 6 different locations, and you have the 6 countries given: England, Germany, India, Australia, Singapore and UAE. So 6 engineers, 6 different countries are involved. Along with that, it says all of them are from 6 different branches as well, out of IT, mechanical, chemical, electronics, metallurgy and electrical. So 6 engineers, they've got jobs in 6 different locations and they are from 6 different branches. So there are 3 parameters involved in this set. Now what you need to do is get a mapping done of these 3 parameters. The question is, how do you do that? Now, normally what most people tend to do is they tend to form a table or a matrix where they usually take the first name or something and then they try to map it with the location and the branch that they belong to. And usually that approach would end up taking around 8 to 10 minutes of your time, maybe in some cases 12 minutes of your time. But the biggest challenge in CAT is that you need to solve sets in 7 to 8 minutes, and that is where it ends up being a situation where you are not able to solve all the sets. Now today what I'll be telling you is an approach by which you can solve every DILR set, and that I mean it, every DILR set in less than 5 minutes approach. Some of you wondering, how is that possible? So let us see how is it possible to solve every DILR set in less than 5 minutes. The first thing you need to do in the first 30 seconds to 1 minute is going through all the questions in the set. And this is very important. Why? Because you know what exactly you need to focus on as far as marks are concerned. हमेशा ये याद रखना, marks कहाँ पे मिल रहा है? Answers पे, and not on the set. So rather than focusing on solving the set, focus on the questions. What are the questions about? Electronics department, UAE, IT department in Australia and Dinesh. So the main core areas on which the focus is as far as marks is concerned is electronics, UAE, IT department in Australia and Dinesh. Now, how will this help us? So what I request all of you to do is, for the next 3 minutes, just observe what I am doing. For the next 3 minutes, just observe what I am doing and then see how any DILR set can be made so much simpler if you are entirely focused on what is required as far as marks is concerned. All I'll do is focus on these keywords: electronics, UAE, IT department in Australia and Dinesh. So let's get started. So there is a clue on Dinesh. So what is said about Dinesh? Dinesh is in UAE. What is said about UAE? UAE is metallurgy, which means UAE answer metallurgy. Dinesh answer UAE metallurgy. Moving on. IT department Australia. Is there any clue on Australia or IT department? Frank is offered in Australia. So IT Department Australia would be option A, Frank. The moment Frank is IT in Australia, Frank is not metallurgy. Also, since Dinesh is metallurgy, so definitely Dinesh is not electronics. Moving on to Anthony. Anthony is IT or electrical, which means Anthony is not electronics. Also, Anthony is Singapore. That means this one is incorrect. Anthony is not Germany electrical. Moving on to Brad. What I said about Brad? Brad is chemical, which means Brad is also not electronics. That means the electronics answer must be Carla. The moment electronics is Carla, that means Ivan is not going to be electronics. Electronics is Carla, electronics is not Ivan, which means this answer will be option B. Note, it's not yet 3 minutes, but I'm already done with 5 out of 5 answers. What is the difference between what I did and what maybe most of you would have done when you had seen the set? The difference is only one thing. You guys are focused on solving, which you may be able to solve certain sets, you may not be able to solve. It might take 8 to 10 minutes, it might take 12 minutes, at most least 7 to 8 minutes. Whereas all I did was solve the same set by focusing entirely on what is required as far as marks is concerned. And remember this, I also used one particular question's options to my advantage to answer other questions' options as well. And why is that possible? Because in every DILR set, all the question options are related. And note, this is a previous year's question, this is a previous year's question options. ऐसा नहीं कि मैंने खुद से बनाया. This is how what has been happening year after year in each and every exam, CAT, non-CAT exams and so on. All you need to do is stop focusing on the set, क्योंकि set हमेशा मुश्किल आने वाला है. Instead, focus on what will get you your marks. So first 30 seconds, focus on the questions and then make sure that you're doing the minimum effort that is required to mark the correct answers. That will happen is every set, and mark my word, every set can be solved in less than 5 minutes. In fact, I hope all of you are aware of the fact that on 7th April onwards, we are starting with a new batch, that is the exclusive weekday evening batch for CAT 2021, which is a full syllabus batch, where every set in DILR will be covering in less than 5 minutes. And that is where the beauty of DILR, not just for DILR, quants, same thing, how you can answer quants in less than 30 seconds. How do you get your V answers in less than 30 seconds? So all of that is available. Just make sure you're subscribing to the Plus or Iconic subscription plan using the code Nilanjan Dutta while subscribing. Which plan to go for? Either a 12-month or a 24-month Plus or Iconic plan will do, but make sure you're using the code Nilanjan Dutta while subscribing to be a part of this batch right from 7th April. Attend every class live and make sure that in every class you're getting a less than 5 minute approach to each and every set. Because remember, the beauty of DILR has just only begun. On that note, signing off as a CAT and DILR 100% Tyler. Once again, thank you everybody and happy learning.